Mandela, ladies and gentlemen. What a great pleasure it is to be here at Mandela Day Book Appeal once again. I was came with a couple of a few books myself today. I was hoping that most people would be able to tell what book is mine and what is my wife's. Rainbow Magic versus Star Chaser and Starfighter. So hopefully, well, you can make your own judgments on that. But it's a great pleasure for me to be here. You know, everybody's got their own story about how Nelson Mandela touched their life, or how they inspired. Some people were fortunate enough that day to see him in Glasgow, and he came, of course, to collect the freedom of the city. Some people have met him in South Africa. I never got the pleasure of doing so, but my own inspiration came from the fact that I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in if it wasn't for Nelson Mandela, because it was the stories that I learned about Nelson Mandela, about the apartheid and anti-apartheid movement in school, my class in modern studies, that I got an interest in modern studies and became the only subject that I actually paid attention to. I managed to get an A in, and so I thought, well, from that I must do politics. And then I am here. So everybody's got a story. It gives me even greater honour that Kini Mandela and also, of course, the Excellency's Minister have chosen to come for Mandela Day the year after, tragically, we lost Nelson Mandela. Instead of spending it in South Africa, they've chosen to come here to Glasgow because of that great history that Glasgow has played in the anti-apartheid movement. Brian Filling himself, but many of the AXA volunteers and members of that movement who are littered around that played a fantastic role in energising Glasgow, energising the anti-apartheid movement, helping to call for men and dismantling. Glasgow has a great reputation and a great solidarity and friendship with the people of South Africa. And I'm just going to end in saying, at the moment and the time that we live in, even in the last few weeks, if not the last couple of months, we've been reminded of the great human tragedies and conflicts that there are across the world. From Iraq and Syria to Israel, Gaza, to many, many others, I'm afraid, goes further afield. And people say, well, you take the Israel-Gaza situation as an example, will there ever be peace? Well, I think today is a day to reflect on Nelson Mandela's legacy about peace. You know, we have so many great quotes, and people will be saying them today, no doubt. One of my favourites that sticks in my mind is that it always seems impossible until it's done. Therefore, when you ask, is it hopeless, will there ever be peace? It seems impossible to be peace in the world. We'll always believe that it may seem impossible, but it'll always be done. And I thank Nelson Mandela, his family, those in the movement, the South Africans, those who played a part here in Glasgow and Scotland. I thank the Mitchell Library for doing what they're doing, and the fact that we have the Robben Island Bible, which I'm thrilled to see when I get the chance to see it. I hope we'll all get the chance to see it. But I thank, nonetheless, I thank more than anybody else, Nelson Mandela, for the legacy that he's left us. People will be talking about him for not generations, but for centuries and centuries. But I welcome our guests in South Africa. This is the friendly city I promise you will ever come to, and I hope that you enjoy your time here. You will be, the South African team, Your Excellency, will get a fantastic, rousing reception, so long as you don't get Scotland. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you, Minister. Could I ask the Minister to say a word?
Well, thank you very much. It's a great honor indeed, and a privilege to be here at this moment in time when the world globally paused to give recognition to one of the outstanding sons of Africa, the son of the world, Oliver Nelson Mandela. And to dedicate this day, the guidance of the United Nations, to dedicate this day to humanity, to selflessness, to sacrifice, and to recognize those who don't have, and at the same time ensure that we affirm the disadvantaged in the world as a reflection of Nelson Mandela's legacy. And then, like it has been said, we don't live in a happy family of nations. The world that we live in today is characterized by political, unamended political differences, and of course, the whole notion of terror phenomenon that has engulfed the world. And as we remember Nelson Mandela celebrating his legacy, we equally, on the other hand, fight for a better world, and we also fight to ensure that the people of Palestine and Israel realize peace. We are saying to the world, let us not give up on the two-state nation solution in the conflict of Israel and Palestine. And for the conflict that is underway, let us cease fire to give peace a chance. We must never give up on talking. War and bloodshed will lead to more bloodshed and more death. There's never been any peaceful settlement that has come out of truth for truth and fighting for perpetual bloodshed and so on. Let peace reign, freedom reign everywhere else in the world. But thank you to the people of Scotland, Glasgow, for the contribution you have made to our struggle. You are the first among nations to recognize Nelson Mandela as a free man, to recognize and give freedom of the city to President Nelson Mandela. I'm happy to stand here, not as a belated present you gave to our beloved Mandela, but whilst he was still alive. You are indeed a friendly city to us, not only to Mandela, but to the emancipation in the liberation struggle of South Africa. I'm happy to be standing alongside great people and important leaders of the time who ensured that we were liberated, who stood up amongst many to call for the fight to be intensified against apartheid. And thank you to come here as a briefing. And next to you there we have Dr. Sam Ramsey, an outstanding figure in our sport fraternity and also the Olympic Committee, but an outstanding figure in our country as one torchbearer who have led from the front for calling for isolation of South Africa in sport. And today we come here as a non-racial South African, still fighting for our own emancipation, but we are glad that we celebrate freedom equally alongside the name Nelson Mandela. And I want to thank my colleagues and Mandela's family that is present here today for their great offering of Nelson Mandela. Because if it was not because of them, we would not have had Nelson Mandela. But thank you once more for having us, and continue to identify yourself with South Africa. These books will mean a lot. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So when I tweeted when I arrived here that because at home the president declared that we must clean South Africa. So everybody's everywhere in South Africa cleaning. And then I said I'll be in Glasgow to join a group of young people. I don't know what is the shape of what is going to be happening here. And then I tweeted to say that we'll be here for goodwill, getting books to young kids in South Africa to read. And I got more than 400 feedback from South Africa to say thank you. And that's the power of global technological highway. You tweet, you Instagram, you can be friends. And that is what it's all about. Thank you to be here, and wonderful, and looking forward to the games. And I hope South Africa will emerge victorious, of course, with Scotland. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your attention, and thank you for coming, and especially thanks to the Mitchell for organising to get more books to South Africa. Let's hope, as I'm sure we will, we reach the 500,000 for the Easter Day. Thanks again.